Hey there, Jason Small with the We Know Dirt podcast. I'm here with Brian Atkins, and we're just following up. We haven't made a podcast. I guess it's been probably a month or so, or maybe even better. Got busy with deer season, and real estate's still been pretty busy time of year for us in the fall. And we just wanted to kind of recap where we're at. I guess deer season. It's December 8th.
Yep.
December 8th. So here in Missouri, we're pretty much done with we've got alternative left and some bow season, rifle season, plus the endless CWD seasons and whatever else that MDC does for us. Thank goodness. But had a pretty successful season. I know you killed a target deer that you'd been after, let go last year, way into the Boone and Crockett, over 200, which we're going to do some more in-depth podcast and talk about just that story. Killed a monster. Before that, Tyler had killed a mega wide 23, 24 inch, legit 20. You hear it all the time, which is funny to me. You know, I see this deer scoring pages and stuff on Facebook, and these guys put stuff up and 24 inches wide. That deer's 24 inches wide. You hear that all the time. This deer's legitimately 23 and a half inches wide. You had the tape on him. I haven't seen him in person yet. And Tyler went in and found this deer and had some videos of him, I guess. Some pictures, some video, and we'll post that on as well. And got him killed. That would have been
October 22nd.
Pretty early, yeah. So the 22nd of October. And then I'd had an old buck there at the house that I've been after for a couple of years. That tight 8. I got him killed. I don't know what day before rifle season started. Just kind of waited till everything got right, the wind got right to go and sit in that stand. I knew he'd be there, and I literally hadn't even sat down in the stand yet when he came in there and shot him.
Middle of the day too.
Yeah. So I came home and at noon, and I was going to get in the stand, and I saw a buck chasing a doe. I didn't even eat. I was going to eat some dinner. Just went and got my stuff gathered up, got in the stand, and killed him. Kind of that. It was really kind of the. It was a little bit. I'd say he'd been locked down with the doe and come loose, and I'd had daylight pictures of him and slid in there and killed him. What else? Cooper shot a coal buck the last day of rifle season there. My youngest killed a buck. Cole killed one of his first Missouri deer, your stepson. So decent little deer. Good one to get started on. It's a big deer coming from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Braylee, Tyler's daughter, killed a
12-pointer. 3-year-old, but she's 12 years old, and she hunted hard. She hunted really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just tickled to death. Everything come together right. And Tyler actually had both of his daughters in the blind, and it was supposed to be Ray on the gun. Mm-hmm. And Ray got on him and was too nervous, and Big Sis had to slide over there
and get him killed.
She got it done.
Yeah. And what else? We've had some really cool stories about some of the clients. Well, your dad killed.
My dad, he just killed opening day of shotgun season. He drew that shotgun tag, and
we're just at the opening weekend of shotgun in Iowa. Was Saturday, and he killed Sunday, right? Saturday night, and then our client that we just got the property under contract, a deer that he'd been after. Really,
got the hunting rights for him also.
Yeah, so he hadn't closed it yet. He'd got the hunting rights. Kind of knew this deer was there. And this is part of the reason why I bought it, because there were so many good deer on this farm. Got a picture of him on Thursday night. Video of him. We'll play the video, and then he came out. I don't know what the script was, what time he come out yesterday and killed him.
He come out right there about 5 o'clock, just that magical hour, standing soybeans. And
on a nice food plot. And that's why, you buy farms like that, and it was a perfect little out-of-the-way farm. It was something that was off the market. We knew about it, could sell it. Really wouldn't necessarily want to list it, in that realm.
Because you've got these farms like this. You've got farms that are turnkey, ready to go. Everything's in place. It's here. All you got to do is come hunt him.
It's not for sale, and it's not on sale, but it could be bought.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way that deal was. And it's just what he wanted, being in his boat. And
I'll tell you this: so this buyer, he moved to Iowa 5 years ago, and he bought a farm, dealt with some different realtors, and bought a farm. and he's lived in the great state of Iowa for 5 years, and he's never seen a deer bigger than 140.
Which is
on
crazy.
any of his farms, okay?
Yeah.
And he got in touch with Tyler originally, and like always, me and Tyler usually work with people for a long time before we find them what they want. When they're looking for a serious, they got serious goals. And we gave him a call and told him, look, this is the kind of farm you've been looking for, yes. It may be priced a little higher than what it probably would have appraised at, but,
it's definitely higher than what it appraised at, but it's you got to find the value.
Everything's here, yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, there's $10,000 worth of food on it.
Yeah.
And he come looked at it, him and his wife. They just absolutely loved it. We helped him semi-set it up, helped him go hang some stands and all. I got him some cameras. And
Ty actually helped relocate him from northern Iowa down to a little farther south. Yeah, sold him a house.
And so, but yeah, we knew that this deer should show back up as long as he hadn't been killed, and he did, and now it's the biggest deer of his life. And
yeah, we're thinking. I don't know if it's been officially scored or whatever else. It's got to dry down anyway. But this deer's weighing the Boone and Crockett, probably around 180-inch deer.
Yeah,
We thought he might be a touch better than that. Off the video made him look like a monster. But great either way, great deer. I don't care if you're I don't care where you are. That's
awesome deer. And mature. Like he was run down pretty hard, but big old mature deer. And hey, not only that, he shot him. And then he got his doe tag filled too. Yeah. He got his meat for the freezer, and so it was.
Yeah, one hitch. He's a believer, but that's kind of what we've got a few guys looking for things like that. But when they come up, it's one of those calls. We don't call you with everything because you're not looking for everything. Yeah. We call whenever it's right. We call you. Pay attention because it's it's really the right deal. But overall, it's been you can't complain.
It's been a good deer season. Now Missouri, we've that dreaded extended season, all that stuff.
We're into doe season now.
Yeah, but Missouri's been pretty good for all the clients that we keep up with and all, and Iowa's been absolutely phenomenal. You can tell that we was spared on a lot of EHD this year. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that there's not pockets that had some, but we was spared overall.
Nothing like what they had over east in Ohio and Indiana and all that.
No, nothing like that. And it's been a good season. Seen a lot of good deer. I personally have passed bigger deer than what I've ever killed with my bow because I was hunting that one specific deer, and I was lucky enough to finally catch up with him. But it's been a good season. Tyler, he tagged out October 22nd, so he really hadn't got to hunt a whole lot. He's been hunting with his wife some.
Hard on him.
Yeah,
to be able to hunt.
Tough. He went back to crappie fishing.
Yeah.
But
in duck hunting. Now they're duck hunting real hard, which we had a pretty good shoot the other day at the lake, which you don't have. Northeast Missouri is not waterfowl haven from where we're at here, but we had a good day. The ducks were piling into the lake up here, and we slid in and killed a limit of mallards and a few geese and stuff like that. So it's getting me that time of year, but anyway, so yeah, we had a pretty good overall. I'd say it's pretty successful, and it's always good to see, the client sending pictures of the deer they're seeing, even if they're not shooting them. Like, hey, we're seeing this, and on farms we put them on, and seeing this deer, pass this deer, whatever else. Even the 40 in Knox, the guy, he got caught with his moving stands or whatever else. His bow was on the ground, and took a video of a real nice, probably 140, 150 inch deer that he would have shot.
There's been multiple. I got that that Schuyler County farm. Big Booner showed up over there that we was expecting to see, and
can't get him killed.
Got the food on it for him, help him with his farm, and it's been a good season. But they and I know that there's still quite a few. That lease that me and you's got. We've shot that one coil buck down there, but we got a bunch of young and uppercomers that still made it. That thankfully made it through a Stenda season.
Yeah, which is crazy because last year we had those deer. We passed a legitimate. Now people can say whatever they want and say it all the time. Legitimately, one of the guys on the lease with us, we'd put him on the no shoot list. We thought he was a mid 160s 4-year-old.
And we got the B-roll that we can roll on.
Yeah. We've got verify. Video. It's we've got tons of pictures and video of this deer, and the deer was 100 yards from him during rifle season. Yeah. And we decided we weren't going to shoot him because we thought he was young, and I still think he was young. The deer never showed up. This year we haven't had a picture of him.
Vanished.
Don't know. He's gone. Maybe he's dead. Maybe he's not. We thought this year he would definitely do Booner because he was only very, very, very close to it last year. We did have one of the other bucks show back up, but he's been real limited over there. Had him early a couple times. You know, he's probably he's probably a mid 150s slick 8 and a heck of a deer. Would kill him this year if we got a chance. I believe he is 5.5 now.
And then we had that big 11 pointer that the neighbors wanted to let's pass him. We all agreed to pass him, and one of our buddies that's in on the lease with us, he took a video of him at 8 yards and passed him, and well, you know, they throttled him during rifle season and sent us the picture.
I was there. He was probably 300 yards, and the hell of it is Cooper's 14. And that deer walks out, we're letting him go. You know, mid 150s, 4.5-year-old. You know, a pretty decent deer, but you could tell he was young. He was kind of, you know, his body and everything else. He was a young deer, stud in the making. And he probably did go mid 50.
He did, low to mid 50s. But I mean, and don't confuse us. Like I have absolutely no problem with somebody shooting something if it's illegal to shoot.
No,
it's just so you know. That lease in particular is a rather large lease. I mean, we've got almost 1,000 acres over there contiguous. And it goes kind of against our strategy in hunting and all, but we've tried this, and, you know, the neighbors tell us they want to let's pass this, pass that. It's fine. Like, we'll let anybody shoot whatever's legal. I fully support it, but we got a rather big lease over there, and the neighbors want to let's pass deer, and so we all agreed, but it gets kind of tough when you pass them and they go to popping them.
It really depends on what you want to do, right? If a deer comes in and it tickles you, we're not shooting racks, right? So in my opinion, we're trying to shoot mature deer, and it's hard. Like, you know, some of these deer, this deer here, I'm pretty sure he was 4. The thing is, where I had him at on the farm I had him on, I control nothing. You know what I mean? And I know you can't say, well, if you,
and they're not your deer or my deer.
It's not my deer, your deer, whatever else. I can't control. He's on a little lease, and I'd watched him the year before, and he really blew up. I mean, he was a 120-inch deer the year before, and shot him, and of course, hey, all the scoring pages and stuff like that will tell me that I'm wrong on what that deer scores. But he's a mainframe 8, and he's got those big brows and all that extra stuff, and he come out, and I wasn't going to shoot him, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to shoot him. I didn't get wound up till afterwards. I don't usually anymore. But he scored 162. Yeah. You know, that's rough tape. You know, off the taxidermist deal. I didn't have him officially scored or anything. But you know, if in the right spot on that 800 acres, we let that deer walk. Oh, yeah. You know, and so that's just because. And if the neighbor shoots him, they shoot him. It's disappointing, but in the same sense, it could be the biggest deer they've ever seen. Yeah. But that deer in 1 year could be. Who knows? You know what he could be,
and that's what it is. It's just like my stepson. He shot a 3-year-old. You know, which I shot him on one of my farms. It's fine. He's his first bow deer ever, and I say partial bow, crossbow.
Yeah, right.
In Missouri, but still first bow deer ever. And he's, you know, he don't get a lot of time to hunt, but he's hunted and he's passed some decent deer. I mean, he's showed you the videos and all, But this deer had him. He was heavy, good mass, fat tines, you know, and I think that's what got him so excited. And hey, I was tickled to death for him. And my dad, he just come up and, you know, he drew his shotgun tag this year. And if it weren't for my dad, I wouldn't be in the predicament I am as far as loving the outdoors and hunting and all. And I'm so grateful that I get the chance now to try to give back to him. But I sent him right in. He went and slammed the biggest 4-year-old that I had. You know, but it's one of his biggest deer ever, and I mean, and he's a respectable, good deer, you know. But it's just one of them things. We're just trying to hunt mature deer. But hey, I'll be just as tickled to shoot 140-inch, 5.5, 6.5-year-old deer as what I am shooting 180-inch deer. We like trying to get them to that age, and But,
well, it's like the big. I got some pictures of him, but I call him the big tight 8, the one I shot. We know. I've had pictures of 23.
He's at least 7.5.
At 23, which I should have saved some teeth and had it sent off, but in 23 was the first picture I had more pictures of him. The first time we saw him an encounter in the stand, and it was this time of year. It was during doe season, and there were some does back in heat on the second lap around. He was pinned down about 100 yards from the stand, and we're looking at him, which we've got. I was hunting with Cooper, and we got the crossbow and the rifle in the stand, and Cooper was pretty tempted, on wondering what the legalities were of the rifle versus the other. But obviously we didn't shoot him and wouldn't. But so I knew I had him, and last year he got hurt. And I had a chance to kill him this time of year, even later. It was probably 1st of January on that corn plot that I had, and I didn't recognize him. He was so gant and tore down that I rack wise it was pretty dark, and rack wise it was like he's not very impressive because he's only 14 and a half inches wide, but he's tall off the top of his head, and so we come in there, and I had a couple 4-year-olds in the field there, and I was watching him, and I'd never really paid him attention because his body was so small. And then I got a trail cam picture where he was standing, and he was skin and bones, ribs showing, backbone showing, and I think he'd been shot maybe in the back leg. He still had a little deal on his back leg when I killed him. So we did have a few encounters with him, so it was cool to get him killed. And I'd had a lot of pictures and stuff of him over the years, but that's the kind of deer you like to shoot. He's going to be a bully buck, going to push other deer out of there.
But he's still a very respectable deer.
Yeah,
when you see a picture of him, he's still a tank of a deer.
Yeah, and body wise, early on, he was near 300-pound deer. But he's a slick 8. Well, he had a little kicker on a G4, a little crab claw on that side. And the taxidermist taped him out. He does a lot of that. So, he taped him out at 148 and some change or whatever else, which is, for an 8-point, that's a pretty decent deer. Yeah. But that's the kind of deer you want to kill and have a history with. They're a lot cooler if you have sheds off of them and you feel like you kind of raised them and watched them grow and stuff like that.
You still got to have a little fun in this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's always fun at deer camp and all when people's killing, everybody's happy, And
oh yeah, I took a buddy out last night to shoot a doe, and shoot, that's about as much fun to watch somebody smash a doe as it is, anything else. Get so serious about the hunting and everything that which you hunted hard. You hunted T-Rex hard this year.
It was a chess match. I've waited on that my whole life just to have that opportunity to hunt a deer like that and to do it. And that's, to do it on your own dirt. Like, that's why I just can't describe to people that own land and the dream is not unachievable. Everybody thinks that it's, unachievable. I don't make enough money to buy a farm or do this, but there's so many different ways to make a farm work. There really is, and but just to do it on your own dirt, and it's an indescribable feeling. I can tell you what I can't do. I cannot take my stocks or my bonds and ever make a memory like what I made with that. Mm-hmm. And
that's a fact. And hey, where I killed that deer out this year, it's on. There's 60 acres there, a lease, 60-acre lease. There might be a little bit more in there now, but basically. Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's got a patch of timber in there, 20 acres. Guess how many times I went into that patch of timber?
None.
The day that I killed him.
Oh, that was
the day that I killed him. I killed him right at the timber. The reason I didn't go in there is because, so you don't have to go in there and spend $1 million on a farm.
No.
Neighbors, all that stuff that matters, neighbors and what's around it and what the, like kind neighbors in there and having good bedding. Your farm where they're at your house, you've got great bedding and good neighbors and
it's a good setup, but and mine's only 120-acre farm. It's not like it's some big extravagant. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm sitting over here with 1,000-acre continuous piece that joins 3 neighbors that own another 7,000 acres. No, this deer right here, I know for a fact neighbors always 2 miles away had that deer last year. Mm-hmm. Now this year, when he showed up, I never caught wind from anybody else. I think that he was honed in here. And,
I think he was living there.
He was.
I know he was.
Yeah, and it.
Well, look at the deer, big deer killed last night. The client killed last night. That's a 40. Mm-hmm. That's on a 40-acre plot.
That's it. 40-acre piece, not no $2 million farm.
No.
That's what I say. There's multiple ways. I'm working with a client right now that we're shopping, we're looking, and I've told him that for the type of farm he wants to find, it may take us a year or two, but he was figuring out how to make it work. How could he afford it? Because he's got him a down payment saved up, and he's looking for about a $400,000 farm. Mm-hmm. Well, he's run his numbers and all, and we was talking. I'd like to find one that's got X number of dollars of income and all, and the payment on that farm would cost him roughly about $15,000 a year on a $400,000 farm with what he wants to put down. And and we was talking about, and I was telling him what type of return we can find for that. Hey, we can, you can get $7,000-8,000 if you find the right farm. Mm-hmm. But like he said, I could just, sell a hunt or two on it and get the rest of my money and make my whole payment. And he brought up, he said, I want to be able to hunt it and I want to take my family to hunt it, but if it involves me being able to buy a farm and make it work because I have to sell 1 or 2 hunts on it, mm-hmm. he still owns the farm. He can still go hunt it, still use it, but there's multiple ways to make one work.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, if you really want to do it, there's a lot of ways to make it happen, and that's what we do.
I can just tell you, but before I bought my first one, I thought that was an unachievable dream. How in the world can you go out here and spend $200,000 or $300,000? And there's a lot of different ways to be able to make it work, and a lot of different banks that work with you, and mm-hmm. there's a lot of stuff that we can help out there with.
And we have a lot of lenders, honestly, that really like dealing with people that have that. We're in an ag heavy community, right? So it's super ag heavy here, but they really like dealing with people that have a job.
Yep.
Have some down money and have a job outside of the agriculture industry.
For some reason, they like W-2s, don't
they? They like W-2s. We found that out. So they like W-2 employees or whatever, have another form of income besides that farm, and they love it. Those guys are bread and butter. They're easy for them, and I don't know what the rates are right now. They've come down a little bit. They're still
around that 6 from what I've kept up with. Around that 6% range.
I haven't checked it for a little while. I think 6.5 or 7, and I think they've come off just a little bit more. So, but super affordable. If somebody wants to do something, like you said, there's ways to offset costs with income. Off of whether they wanted to sell a couple hunts, or maybe they want to sell turkey season. Maybe they're not big turkey hunters. Maybe they want to sell a gun hunt or two, or a bow hunt early, or something like that. Northern Missouri, it's not out of the realm. $4,000 to $5,000 for a bow or gun hunt. Yeah. Especially if you've got the trail cam history and the stand set up and things like that, to bring somebody in and let them, go after a target deer or something like that. So there's a lot of ways to be creative and buy a farm if that's what you want to do. And then, hey, look at the guys that have bought farms, think, oh gosh, they got too high now. They're too high. I can't afford it. You know what the guys were saying? The guys were saying 5 years ago, they're too high, I can't afford it. 10 years ago, and now, when I first started selling real estate back in 2013, the first farm I sold was over in Adair County, and $1,325 an acre. Oh. And it was all timber tract, a hunting farm, $1,325 an acre. And we sold a farm that was very, very close to that here. Scott's mom and then what did we get out of that? 4,500, something like that, out of that farm. So that's how much it's gone up in a short period of time, 12 years. And I saw an article somewhere the other day that said that by 2050 we'll see $100,000 an acre ground. Tillable ground.
I believe that in places, and I don't know where the stopping point is or if there ever will be one, but I know this. I know a new pickup truck now is $100,000, and they used to be $50,000.
And it ain't even really for $100,000. It's not even a real fancy one. I saw a Suburban or something the other day. It was like $110,000. So yeah.
I can just tell you this from honest experience in doing this, and land is without a doubt one of the best investments you can ever make. Real estate in general is something that you can make memories on. It's something you can touch, feel, and see. It's not like the funny money in the stock market. Right. Because that's what it is. It's funny money. I don't care what kind of stockbroker wants to twist it. I watch mine every single day, and I swear I feel like I'm a child playing video games. I just watch it doop, 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 doop.
Up, down.
And green, red. So but no, it's been a good hunting season. We've been really busy. This has probably been I know it's been my busiest year real estate-wise as far as during hunting season goes. Yeah. It was getting down to there was a time period in there of about 10 days, and Tyler had done killed, and I really think the good Lord was looking out for me on that, because Tyler, he was all over Iowa and Missouri, trying to show farms and all, because I was solely focused on T-Rex. It was hard. It was very hard to pull me off of that deer.
Yeah. Well, deer like that's not something you come around every day. You know, probably never kill another one like that. You know, most likely.
You know, that's what my dad said. My dad told me, because he happened to be out here. He was hunting Missouri, so it was great. You know, we all got to go on the recovery and all. And he told me, he said, well, you can hang it up now because you'll never kill a deer bigger than that again. And I told him, I said, well, Dad, you may be right, but I live in the place it can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it don't have to be that big again. They can still be awful big.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what else we got? We've got some listings, still got some listings available. That you got a couple farms over in that Sullivan Grundy County area over there that are pretty well known producers.
Yes,
I mean,
they are. And they're fairly new. We've had them listed 3.5, 4 weeks, something like that. And we got an auction that we're fixing to bring up in Grundy County that hopefully we'll get up and live here in the next 2 weeks. And
real good tillable farm, and with good hunting on it too. Got some cameras on it, and a lot of deer move through there.
Yeah, we listed that 40 acres and house in Lucas County. It didn't make it too long. We got it headed toward the finish line, and we so yeah, it's been really busy, and we've been showing a lot of farms because the last week and a half we've had snow on the ground, which is really uncommon for the amount that we've had and the type of weather we've had for this time of the year. But it's been one of the best times to scout and be able to look at farms and show farms off for what they are.
Yeah, this really is some end of November, 1st of December here has been more indicative of like a mid-January for us as far as how cold it was. We got that snow and then snowed some more, and it's melted a little bit, but they're talking about dumping some more on it by the end of the weekend. So you know, it's hunting good for late season. That's for certain. If you got food, you're going to see some deer.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So basically, we got to go back to the drawing board and get some more farms. There's some stuff out there for sale, but we definitely always need more. And prices are still just as strong. People ask me all the time, stuff's still selling good. It hasn't, you know, even if you think it may tip a little bit and go the other way, it sure hasn't.
If it's the right farms, and tillable definitely hasn't.
No.
So auction just closed day before yesterday over in Davis County, Iowa. $152 a CSR point. Just sold day before yesterday.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
You know, we're talking 50. The CSR on it was a 52. Closed out at $8,050 an acre.
Yeah.
You know, so tillable ground is staying strong, and I think getting stronger.
Yeah.
You know, and then the rec farms, if it's priced accordingly, you sell them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like.
I would say people can be a little bit more selective on the rec farms than they were maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago, where they were just, I mean, on the market. You know, you had the agents pulling the funny business of, you know, not submitting offers and things like that because there were so many buyers out there. They didn't need a buyer's agent to bring a client to sell it. But anyway, got in a whole other rabbit hole there.
That's a
different podcast. But so that's kind of over with. Guys are a little more selective, but still, if it's decent.
Just priced right,
and
not
right.
cheap, just priced fairly.
Yeah,
you know, these days of everybody thinking, well, land went up, you know, 3 years ago it was this, and then it doubled, then it done that. Look, we took a little standstill there to let us catch up with appreciation.
Yeah, it wasn't a very long standstill.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's, you know, they sold some stuff there at auction. Another broker had there in Knox County, northern Knox County, by some of our family ground, and you know, I went through and valued it all for a client, and pretty much hit it all on the head. You know, good tillable ground down there, brought a little different than what I thought, but $82.50 an acre, I believe, is what it brought, and it was you know, some pretty good Knox County, southern Scotland County tillable ground, bringing in that, you know, low eights. And you know, and on up really, you know, and then some marginal stuff was in the sevens, and even some chopped up pasture type stuff, maybe even a little wreck, you know, brought 6,800. So stuff's still selling really, really good. You know, the cattle ground is the one thing that I was a little bit surprised it hasn't taken off a little bit more. But you know,
the cattle market's been strong.
It's been really strong. But it hasn't seemed like, you know, guys are kind of making hay, I think, right now. They're not going out and buying a bunch of stuff, and which I don't know if that'll change or not. It's hard to tell a guy when he has a nice cattle farm and good fences on it, and then if he had to let it grow up in brush, it'd be worth more right now than what than the
Yeah,
$4,500 $45,000 to $5,000 an acre for good pasture ground. If it was in brush and some food plots, it'd be worth more.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is. So yeah, it's really staying strong and not a lot on the market. Back to not a lot of stuff on the market.
The stuff that's out there right now has been sitting there for a while, and it's priced too high, and we just
and not saying there's not some good stuff on the market, because there is. We've got a few good farms. 488 that Dave's got is a hell of a farm.
It's not on the market right now, is it?
They might have taken it off. They're trying to clean up a little.
Yeah, there was
something
some stuff with the getting some
an access for a neighbor or something like that. They're trying to clean up, but there's still a few things out there. I think that farm, you've got those farms over there in Sullivan County. There's still some decent stuff out there.
I've got that little 20 in Putnam that I'm really surprised that it hadn't sold yet, because there was a little small 16, 17 acre piece that got listed there a whole month and a half ago, and I mean, it got listed at $8,000 an acre and just went like that, little hunting piece. And I've got that 20 over there in Putnam that is in literally one of the best pockets of Putnam County that always produces, and all timber, even got a little timber value on it, and nice house and all. And we got it at $275, and I've had some hits on it and all, but like I was really shocked that one hadn't left yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully we get a few. There'll be more listings coming on, because it's typically the time of year when guys weren't impressed with their.
Oh yeah.
They want to get something bigger, or they just didn't use it like they thought. So I anticipate some. It always does every year. We start picking up some listings this time of year and getting busy. So it's coming into a really good time to look at farms.
It is.
If you want to go and get an idea here in the next 2-3 months of how many deer on a farm. Yeah. And where they, it's time to scout it, besides shed hunting.
We'll start our scouting just like last year. Me and Tyler's done talked about it. We'll take about a week there as soon as deer season ends in Missouri, and we'll scout for a week, because this is, it's the best time of the year to scout.
See where they've been.
When you can see everything and get into those bedding areas and all and make plans. That's how we started with T-Rex, and we started on a lot of these deer was last year or this year, back in the middle of January, out in the snow and all, and we've had that plan from the start, and just thankfully it worked out, and he lived and made it through, and a plan come together. But this is a great time of the year to come look at farms. It really is. You can see everything about it versus springtime, summertime. It's hot, ticks out.
You can't see.
You can't see to where you can see the clear picture this time of the year.
Which I would say that it can be a little, because where the deer are going to live when it gets cold, a yard up on food.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be on south slopes. You're going to find sheds there. It's, old boy talks about finding the sheds, and this is where you need to hunt on this farm. Well, in September and October, that deer's totally not different. In the same spot, but you can tell about how, you can still hunt late season. Yeah. You can tell if the deer yard up on that, and a lot of that depends on the food. I mean, they're going to have, be pulled in the food late, but you can still really see it a lot better. And that's the time you want to go, even set preliminary stands and mark trees and things like that, like on that lease we've got. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to it. We'll come back on here. We're going to have some follow-on podcasts with some of the stories on these deer. Probably dedicate one podcast to T-Rex and get that going and then show some of this other stuff from, that's what people want to see.
I'll give them a little teaser. I had to watch that deer for an hour and 20 minutes within 80 yards 3 days before I got him killed. And when I tell you, it was one of the most amazing, most nerve-wracking things I've ever watched. But I got to see him do what deer do, and it was pretty interesting. I got some pretty good footage of him, and
so we'll be back. I guess that's kind of our breakdown. We've been gone for long enough. How deer season went, and kind of a market where we're at on the market right now in real estate.
And it ain't over yet. Tyler's dad's got a late muzzleloader tag. I'm still trying to get my wife on one. We come close yesterday evening. She's been.
I'll tell you what, I've still got a tag. I've got I can muzzleloader hunt or bow hunt in Missouri, and we had a brand new deer show up on the lease.
Bully buck too.
He's got a big old flyer off a G2. He looks like a dork, like a 7, but he's mature, cool looking deer. And after a doe, chasing doe this morning at 7:30, went through past one of our cameras. So this is a pretty good time of year. You could easy see some stuff that you haven't seen all year show up right now. This second rut, kind of, I guess follow on. I don't know what they call it, whatever it is, follow on rut or
it ain't over yet. It's not over.
We could do some good, but beyond that, the farms are pretty much depleted for now, until something comes on the food.
We're going to try to get a couple more deer killed and shoot a couple does, and let's go duck hunting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that's it. That's it for us on our December 8th podcast, the We Know Dirt podcast. We'll see you.